All right, let's begin. To my Twitch viewers, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the channel and what we're doing. To my YouTube viewers, welcome back. We really appreciate you hanging out with us again and checking out our videos and what we do. I know it's crazy. It's out there. It's not really well coordinated, but I'm doing the best I can for being one person taking care of everything and having a full-time job on top of it. So what we were doing yesterday, started building the test fixture that will also serve as help getting some of the out-of-box code onto the unit per se. That way, when the units ship, they'll have some basic firmware and it'll be available on GitHub, so you could learn and adapt and, incorporate it more into what you're doing, to your own projects. And that's kind of the whole point of this this dev kit in the first place, this whole board and what we're working on. So I managed, so let's go to this webcam here. Hello. Fresh it. All right. So I managed to find to do a longer TPU belt, quite a bit longer. So it'll definitely give us more travel distance. So I went ahead and pulled that guy off, and yeah, it'll definitely give us more travel distance, which is ideal for what we're looking for. Just definitely more travel distance. It'd be nice if I could have done basically all the way to the end, but that's okay. I'm not going to cry about it. We've got more travel distance, and I'll see if I can squeeze out a couple more millimeters of belt length with my 3D printer, but I'm happy with what we have. Then I kind of came up with an idea to help with tensioning, which would also help with replacing the belt, or upgrading the belt in the future or whatever. It's not going to be pretty, but I was thinking about setting this piece up vertical, pulling the motor mount and placing it up against here, and then using these guys, basically another type of corner. That way we can loosen it and actually slide the entire motor mount back and forth to handle the tension. And I think that'll serve us a little bit better. So let's go and get the motor mount dismounted. Make all this ruckus here. Okay, the motor pulled off. Get these guys pulled out. All right, so we know if we go into this guy here, come on, there we are. So we're gonna go there. All right. So it might take some effort, some time to adjust things and get them just right, but right now I think this will work. This will give us a nice platform to work off of. Let's see about getting one of these guys tight. And again, we'll make adjustments as we need to. So that way the motor will be mounted that way, and we just slide this whole assembly this way to tighten. Move the power supply out of the way. We'll have to, create a mounting solution for that guy too. But I've got a couple ideas in mind for that. So what we'll do is start getting these guys fed in here. Oh, wait a minute. All right, so that won't be able to be used. That looks like it's for connecting end pieces like that. Okay, all right, so I'll just have to use regular corner brackets for this part then. Oh, how interesting. Oh, well, wait a minute here. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're going to need it from that end. Oh, I see. This end. And then this guy right here. So, oops, need to go the other way. So then, I'm going to have to go there. There we go. Now we got those guys in there. And they take basically little set screws. Start getting these guys driven in there. Yeah, idealistically, you know, we would probably cut this to length, but I don't want to cut any of these pieces. I have a limited supply and of the 30 by 10. All right, so you're going to be a royal pain in the behind, aren't you? Probably better off just getting them started prior to trying to tighten them down, to installing them, I see. Yeah, get them started, and then we'll worry about that. Figure I'd give these guys a chance to see how they look, how they perform in a situation like this. I figure, plus being in like that, they'd handle the forces a little bit better. Not like they're really going to be facing a lot of pressure from just trying to hold a motor out. Okay. All right. These guys started here. All right. Perfect. Let's get you done in there. Here we are. Okay. Now let's try this again. Okay, there we go. Let's try with this guy. Okay. Then what I was also thinking about doing, they not need to now, because there's plenty of distance here, plenty of room. Okay. Not the smoothest. I could probably kind of back these guys up a little bit. Get a little bit of clearance. Just a hair. There we go. Yeah, I don't expect to have to move that a whole lot to get the adjustment, so that I'm fine with. This we may have to pull in and out depending, so let's kind of take one of the screws, and we're just, stab myself with the my X driver. All right. So we definitely have a maximum limit right there, but we can compensate. Okay. So it definitely looks like we need to come out quite a bit. I reach any of these heads with this? Oh, no, I can't. Oh, this is going to be excruciating. So it's just going to take a lot of trial and error and hopes and prayers. So we don't fight it too much. I'm going to set one of these guys in place there. That way we don't have to fight it too much. That way we're not. Make sure we have enough clearance. There we go. All right. All right. A little bit more. Just a little bit more. And whee! Yeah, I keep getting stuck out there. That's fine. Okay. A little bit more. Because I want to try to be center line with this spot on the rail. So just a hair more, really. All right. That might be it. All right. Looks like that'll work for me. Let's go get them. Go ahead and fish bolt that guy down. Nope. Make sure we can. Okay, yeah, we can move this guy around. All right, perfect. Get the motor mounted back in there and move on to the next phase. Again, not perfect. You got this huge piece coming up. Idealistically, maybe I'd cut it, but again, I don't see the need to because I don't know how long I'm going to keep this fixture around until at least I come up with new ideas for how to do this. Or just buy the material to replace it. We'll see. As I mean, in an ideal world, we'd have something kind of like its own little gantry for the motor that you could use a screw or something, and move it back and forth by tightening or loosening a screw up, over here. That would be ideal, but like a table or something like on the bigger motors. But for what we're doing, this is more than perfect. Okay, get the last motor. Washer and lock washer. Get you tied down. There you go. Beautiful. All right. So then what I figured we could do is we could, with the motor wires, we can kind of loosen this up, kind of drive, and then drop it in the channel here. You know, the similar channel that's on over here. That way it kind of keeps them out of the way and a little bit better protected. So let's grab this guy. Loosen you up. Oh yeah. Yeah, not perfect, but it does what we need to do. It gives us a way to tension the belt and easily change it and replace it without fighting everything too much. So now the gantry. So I was thinking about just pulling this end cap off. That way I can pull the gantry out easier. May not need to, but we definitely need to consider dropping this guy back. So yeah, that'll give us quite a bit of extra travel. That'll actually help. One of the things I didn't think about is I might have to slide this up just a hair, but we'll solve that problem when we get there. I'm not going to be worried about that too much. Now I'm kind of looking at it. Yeah, kind of dips below. So I have to undo all these screws and kind of slide that up a little bit, which shouldn't be a problem. You know, that's just the way things go. And think about that in that moment. Tighten it down so you're not being in my way. We've got our position in here. All right. Woo! Hooray! More adjustments. Yeah. That actually looks like it might work. These guys down so they don't move anywhere. I'm only going to put one screw in for the motor right now to make my life easier. Okay, so we have to make another adjustment like that, but I don't think we will, but oh, wait, there we go. Hold it in place. So let's work on getting this guy pulled back. All right. Oh, wow. That's definitely going to give us A little bit more travel distance. Cool is because I have this out a little bit this way. We can get our tension, get a little bit more travel distance. If the whole assembly would stop moving on me. There we go. Cool, cool, cool. There we go. Yeah, so we're jumping the motor because we're not tensioned all the way, but that's fine. What we will do, back off on that tension. That way we can pull the belt off much easier. Definitely much easier this way. So now we can adjust the tension through this guy. Like I said, make it easier to change the belt out. Because we can always throw in like a factory belt, like a manufactured belt, and set everything up. So I'm going to go and pull this plate off so I can pull the gantry out so we can get the belt back on it. I just leave that off for now. I could always remove the whole motor assembly if I really wanted to. Let's see how much of a pain in the rear that would be. Oh, not as much of a pain in the butt as I thought it would be. Good, good, good. So I just decided to just keep two of these guys on there. I still may design a bracket down the road, but I noticed with two of these, with just two of them, I could adjust the skew of the belt to help it line up better with the idler pulley and then the drive. So not perfect, not an ideal solution, but sometimes all you need is a solution that just does the job. And sometimes that's all I really need to go for something like this. Now, if there's a need down the road, maybe to do something better, to get more accurate data, or, you know, we want to extend the project and maybe do more with it, that's something we'll consider. Maybe we end up getting some kind of valuable data out of this and we want to extend it. Who knows? I'm always open to suggestions for projects like this. All right, so finish getting this guy tightened up. That's our belt. Got our gantry back going here. Got our idler on there. Oh yeah, that's definitely much nicer. Get the drive motor, stepper back. Oh, that does make things easier. Okay. Oh. Okay. All right. That guy. All right. All right. So, what we can do. So that's what I was saying about having this set up like this, because we're kind of forcing the belt over this way. So we're going to hold the belt, slowly loosen that up. gently kind of center it, tighten it down. Yeah, we're still riding the pulley a little bit. Now what we could also do is loosen up the set screw in the pulley, or the drive gear, and also pull it a little further off. But let's see if we can get this adjustment here first. All right. Might not be tensioned enough either. May have to loosen those guys up. All right, let's see how we are on the idler. I don't know if we're jumping or what. Yeah, we're still a little... Yeah, let's see about pulling that guy out. That's going to be probably... All right, let's see if this guy's the right size, 1.5. Huh, okay, well. Oh, it's got 2 set screws. Okay, I think the belt's a little twisted. Let's see if we can... Some more adjustments in here. And burp. We'll have to see how she acts when the motor's actually driving it. Don't want to fidget around with something that's not actually broken. All right. So, things are looking good there. Get that guy out of my way. Oh, no, that's actually the one I need. Let's go and get the motor completely bolted down into its bracket. That way it's one less thing to worry about. Now, let's go ahead and figure out the limit switches. Okay. So, in a nutshell, we're going to have one limit switch mounted over here. To catch the extent. So let's go ahead and, even though it's only going to be temporary, let me find the little screws for my limit switches. So let's kind of figure this out here, because I can always pull the screws back out to do the soldering on this. All right. Yeah. All right. So then this guy will be over here. Perfect. So it's basically, yep. Okay, so we need one peanut, bottom, the bottom rail here. Don't need anything too fancy because the bottom of this is just going to ride on the rail, so we don't have to worry about it twisting like this. We'll just let it ride on the bottom there. Get this guy. All right, kind of push this guy back. Maximum travel maybe right there. So this limit switch. It's just wood. We don't have to get that nice little clickety clack action. So that's where that limit switch is going to go. Get the screws back out. Now we'll leave it in there for a minute. Ain't going to hurt anything. Grab the other mounting bracket. It's going to go here. So I might have to pull this plate off. Now I might be able to tuck a... that's going to be really difficult to do too. I could use a drop-in T-nut, but I really... Sometimes they're a pain when you have to loosen stuff up and move stuff around. Did I leave any T-nuts on that? Any at all? No. And I'm going to have to get past this T-nut here. Yeah, I'd have to get past. Yeah, that's gonna be loads of fun. So let's get this bracket off. It's not really needed. So this C extrusion was part of my CNC mill, and it was meant for a screw to run through there to operate the gantry. So that's what this bracket is. It's a motor mount. And then also to help hold the screw. Technically not needed for this project. Maybe we'll just put it back on just to serve as an end cap. Just to kind of clean things up. Maybe, maybe not. I'm also not opposed to designing or 3D printing anything. But hey, we'll see. We'll see. That's why I like working with this stuff. All right, we're going to clean these things up anyway. So. There we go. Well, let's first figure out where that limit switch is going to go because, yeah, we'll clean all this up. I'm not terribly worried about what it looks like right now. Because I might have to remove that one anyway. So. All right. So let's get the bracket. We know it's going to go on like this. So we know the limit switch has to get mounted like this. I'll find my M2.5 screws that I have for that. Everything just gets scattered around me. Okay. Whee! All right. The other screw here amongst the debris. All we might run a half hour over just because, you know, we're having so much fun. Yeah, I might have to actually pull that guy. Depending on, you know, because the extent. Get out of there. I can always put it back in here. Not a big deal. Okay, so let's go and drop that guy in the bottom. Grab that's way too short. Way too short. Grab this guy. That might be too long. Oh, nope, not at all. Let's just kind of pretend. Yeah, that's really going to screw some stuff up too. I have to fix it, I see. So this travel extent. I can always put the second T-nut in there just because. Make sure that guy's actually well supported. Didn't do it on that one, but I didn't have the room to. Oh, no, that one might be just right for this. All right, perfect. Okay, so let's see here. I don't want it to have a chance of jumping off the idler, so probably about right here would probably be good for this. Get my head in the way there. Yeah, that's the way we do it. All right. So we got that travel extent and then that travel extent. We got quite a bit of travel there. Beautiful. So we got our travel extents. Just a beautiful, 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 beautiful. I'm going to kind of do something sloppy like this right now. Not perfect, but to help keep that motor wire safe as we move the assembly round and round, so we can go through and properly fix some of this stuff. All right. We are having way too much fun now, aren't we? Way too much fun. All right. So, you know what? Let's not mess around with how this is already configured. It works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. So there we go. That's back. Didn't mess with any of that. Our gantry, we have our limit switches. Now I want to figure out how to mount a couple of additional items on here. Want to be the power supply. So I was thinking it could go back here. Not ideal, but it would work. Because I don't want to make it too much wider than it already is. So I was thinking we can mount the power supply in here. Be nice to have shorter pieces of extrusion, but this is fine. I mean, I'm not going to cry about it. Get rid of these brackets here. Again, I don't want to cut any of this. I know I have brand new stuff. I got a bunch of new extrusion. They're like 4 feet long. I've got like 8 pieces that are 4 feet long. And yes, I am avoiding cutting them up. Because I don't really want to right now. That's one chunky bracket, but that'll work. So what I was thinking, I don't know if I have any more of those little cast brackets left. Because yeah, I got these big chunky brackets, which is fine. Haven't used these bad boys before. Okay, that's kind of interesting. It looks like they hold the rail in the middle. That's interesting, and that's perfectly fine. You know what? That's cool. Let's see what we can do with these big boys, these bad boys. Came with a bunch of their own T-nuts. Fine by me. Don't have to use up my own supply. A bunch of their own screws too. I don't know. I mean, eventually this will be added to all my existing collections, but that's fine. Let's see here. What, there are screws. Use them up too. What the heck? Why not? This may not be long enough, but hey, we'll see. Set it aside. Because we have a whole bunch of other stuff to mount here. So let's start by getting these big chunks mounted. All right, that's kind of cool. No, this might actually work. Yeah. Okay. All right, it works. There we go. Can't ask for anything else than that, right? I probably have more of the cast brackets in one of my bins if I really go digging for it. And I could probably pull more off of the other project. The same project I stole a lot of this aluminum off of. But right now I don't really care. I'm not really too concerned about that. Oh. One of the great things about working with this extruded aluminum, it literally is like working with Legos, and I love it. Or you're an older guy like me, or an older person like me, you might remember the old Meccano erector sets back in the day. And yes, for the kids listening, that is what they were called, erector sets. I think they're still made. I don't know if Meccano's still around, but I think they are. I think I've seen them before. In stores. But yeah, they were really cool. Don't want to get it too... I want to be able to have room to build a... get the cable pulled out of there. I'm not terribly worried, so we can kind of offset this a little bit. We don't have to worry about being too heavy back here because we have the bulk of everything over here, the motor and everything. If it does feel like it's going to tip over, I can always throw one of these pieces kind of like back here like this on the bottom. I'm not worried about it. I think we've got plenty of, we don't have to, it's not going to be heavy, back heavy or anything. Yeah. Yeah, those were cool things back in the day, those old erector sets. So, I guess we're just have to use more of these big chunky brackets. Which is fine. I'm okay with it. You know, a little bit overkill. I want to keep those cast brackets on there. Do I have any other brackets I can use? Like I don't want to overhang that much. I don't want to use up that much additional space. Got two little brackets over here. Let me go see if I can steal some more off this my other project. The other thing. Basically the project where we got the power supply from in the first place. Can I steal any brackets from here? All I need are two. Yes, I can. I can steal these guys. I only need like a couple. Actually, I have four I could take if I really wanted to. One. Two. Okay, I got two so far. See what we could do with them. With the cast brackets. I should really buy more of them. So I like these better for some of these smaller tasks. Okay. This. Got here. Come on. All right. So we've got big M4 guys, M4s, washers, and lock nuts. And that's to actually bolt into the power supply. Actually, what I can do, use this as a spacer. There. All right. Not the prettiest, not the ugliest either. Okay, next. It'll all kind of fall more in line as we go. Using all these different screws and stuff, but that is more than fine. The other, number 4. All right. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. So let's get you torqued down. Make sure that. No, that was bad. That was dumb. There we go. All right. All right. Beautiful. Now just use those brackets. Maybe not even need them, but we'll have them on there just in case. Because all right. I don't know. That might be okay. See, that's the problem is I don't know if I've got enough oomph over here. So I might have to just use that to kind of just act as a spacer. A little cat saying hi to me. Hi, little cat. Now he's embarrassed because I called him out, and he's just walking away now, just like a cat. Typical little cat. Boom. All right. Yeah, I know this has been a process, but you know, it's actually kind of fun coming up with these things and these fixtures. All right, so let's say you're there. See, like just the support, because it's mounted pretty good over here. It ain't going anywhere. Yep. Hey, you're magnetic. You're not supposed to be. Don't do that to me. But yet. Yeah. Okay. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay. Brilliant. Okay. This also gives us a place we could like tie some wires to if we need to. So there we go. Yeah, this guy ain't going anywhere. All right. So that gets the power supply. Kind of get this guy. Let go of my shirt, please. Thank you. Now, as far as this guy is concerned, my mains. Yeah, that could go there. I'd have to make sure I route the wire, the actual main, out of the way. Yeah, I definitely do not want it to intersect with that. What I might try to do is push this assembly further back. I'm trying to think where else I could throw this. No. Definitely not. Could always. Pull the single out. Put a triple in there. Kind of like this. And just have the mains. You know what? That might be a better option. Let's do that. Let's try that instead. Come on. Come on now. Get in there. Follow your friend. That way. What we can do. All right. You in there. Get your friend installed. Get you. That way I can kind of wrap you up in there. You know what? That'll actually work. Not perfect, but it does what we need it to do. It gives us our main. And we'd have access to those guys. Yeah, as long as we don't do anything dumb. No foreshadowing, promise. As long as I don't do anything dumb, we'll be okay. All right. Oh, yes. All right. All right. All right. Right. The edge there. Edge. All right, that should be good. Torque that guy down. This guy down. All right. Now, if we wanted to, yeah, so that's pretty protected. There, put you in that rail. All right, you're all the way of anything moving. That will work. All right. So that's that and that. And we didn't make it too excessively large. Two more things I want to work on addressing. One is like working on something that we can mount the buttons and indicators to. So one of the things we can do is, oddly enough, is we can design something that we can attach to this guy, 3D print, you know, kind of come up with the buttons and the switches and stuff. No, it doesn't have to be too fancy. Just 3D print, you know, design and 3D print it. And then as far as the actual workhorse of the unit, we could, I want to find a way to be able to mount it to the unit as well. So, and be accessible for everything that we might need. So we know the power supply is over here. So these are going to be our control and limit switch inputs. RS-45 and the motor driver. So we don't want to block any the cooling system over here. And we definitely want to have access to this guy so we can open it up. So what I'm thinking we might be able to do is, let's see, what other parts do I have laying around? So we could actually, so here's something we can do. So the motor, or not the motor, the power supply has still has holes in it for mounting. We could design some kind of 3D printed bracket that comes up and over. That we can screw this down to. So maybe what we'll do is, let's see, do I have? I have this guy. Actually, I forgot about these little guys. Really nice small metric rulers and stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, so 10 millimeter, 20 millimeter. So it's centimeters, and then, you know, so millimeters, that'd be 10 millimeter. 20, 30, 40, 50. So this goes up to 150 millimeters. So let's kind of get some ideas here. Brought my better ruler in, but that's fine. Let me grab my notepad, and we're going to take some crappy notes. I could probably go and get the data sheet on this guy to get the dimensions. And that's probably what I'll do for this guy. It's a Delta DPS-320AB-1A. Okay. So I can probably go get the data sheet, which will give me all the dimensions of this guy. Especially the mounting holes. And that'll be easier than I won't have to freaking measure those. Slip of the tongue. So we'll want to make sure we have enough clearance over this fan to make sure it keeps airflow. So I say about 15 millimeters. So I have the power supply. And then we'll want to make sure we have a clearance of 15 millimeters. And I could just design something that kind of comes up, gets mounted to the side of the power supply here. And it comes up and just has like a little leg. Basically like a little shelf that we can clear the fan. And then this guy just gets mounted to it. And that's probably what we'll do. Maybe that's what we'll work on tomorrow, is getting that designed. That way this guy can be here. I already have some wire. Yeah, making a lot of noise now. Woohoo! So if we have enough clearance over the fan, that shouldn't be any airflow problems. And that'll give us access to this guy. Like I said, power will be here. I can shrink this guy quite a bit. So that'd be like the ground. And actually no ground. 24 volts here. We'll come up and tie into here. So that would be perfect for that. I already have a piece of wire kind of cut, or that I can just cut to length. Once we get this bracket made, this mounting bracket. And I'll just, set it up so I can just drop some heat set inserts into it and just bolt this down at all four corners. Because again, so our control inputs are here. We just want to make sure motor driver's over here. You may have to change a few things, but let's see. I can always change it so that it comes down, so it drops down below. Let's see here. Let's put it in. It would actually work if I drop that down below. That would be fine. That would work. Yeah, that would work. Have this up. Maybe up and as far over, power supply as possible. Yeah, that would actually work. And then as far as the control, so I'll be using this cable, like I said, 3-conductor cable, to tie all the limit switches basically from here, so I have to cut all to length, solder them to the switches, and then as far as our controls, we'll have to do all that with the controls too. I could just do it with like 28 gauge wire, like this stuff, really thin. You don't really need much for this, but it gets hard to manage. And honestly, once we start routing everything and get things tied down properly and make things really neat with this cable, it looks really cool and it's really usable. It's really doable that way. So that's probably, so tomorrow maybe we'll sit down and start the design work. Because before I cut any cable and do any wire soldering and stuff, I want to get all these brackets installed and set up to make sure everything's in place. Like I said, we'll pull the motor. We'll twist it so the wires go down and I can route them underneath everything. Yeah, that should work. And then something I've done before, I don't know if I still have any of them, I might print them, is I designed like wire tie points that go into these rails with the T-slot. You just put them in place and you just zip tie the wires to it for wire management. So it's coming together. I'm hoping within a few more videos, we can have this up and running and actually driving the gantry back and forth and collecting data. So I'm really hoping we can do that. We can achieve that pretty easily. But there's still a lot to do. Again, it's a whole process. We'll have the control panel. So we'll probably have it. I might even design something to cover. Or who knows, I'll design it so it can kind of cover this wiring too. The mounting bracket for this. We'll see. I might design another cover because I don't want... I'll have to set this up so nothing can mess with it while it's running. Or I may just have to run it when I can watch it, check on it. That way none of the cats get hurt or anything, because they do come into my workshop. I could close the door, but I've got a couple that know how to get in through this ceiling. I got one little terror. She can get in and via the ceiling across some of the heating ductwork. She's a very crafty little girl, and she'd be the one I'd be worried the most about. So either way, we'll do it. As who knows, we could always use a non-volatile memory space on the ESP32 to store the cycle counts. So maybe that's what we'll do. We'll flush out some firmware too. That way you can use the non-volatile memory space to store settings or configuration data. As part of the overall project. So things are looking pretty cool. It's getting kind of fun. We'll definitely work on some cable management. This is coming along. So kind of found a new purpose for, the crazy motor mount, as we'll also be able to mount like a little control panel or something to it. Even if we have to kind of take another one of these guys and kind of, like here in the middle or something, to act as like a support for the control panel or something, have it kind of like down here or something. We'll figure it out. It looks goofy, it looks crazy. But it's fine for what it is, for what we need it for. We also have these guys. I don't know if we can use them for a control panel. We might be able to have it on the front, but I kind of rather have it on the top. So it's coming along. It's coming along. We got our power supply mounted. Got the mains mounted here. Perfect. We got a gantry, and right now as it stands, it moves, it jumps. I don't know if it's just a tensioning problem or what. But if we do mount a control panel to this guy, we'll have to keep in mind that we need access to these set screws. So we'll have to make sure we put access holes in there. That way we can drop our tool down. So we'll see. We'll figure it all out. I'm in no no rush or anything on that. We'll have to figure that out. Maybe I can't mount anything to it. Or if anything, we can set it up so I can access it with a standard Allen key from down below. Just have it mounted up high enough, that way I can get down below to access it. Because again, those shouldn't have to be really adjusted that often to get the motor tension. Cool. We're making progress. We're moving forward. Whether or not it's the right direction, or whether or not things are going right, we won't know until we start slamming firmware and getting this guy moving. Cool. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna call it for now because, like I said, I think tomorrow we'll switch into some design work and start designing some of the mountings and the brackets and stuff, so I can get those 3D printed. I'll see if I can get a slightly longer belt, maybe get a little bit more range of motion out of this, but we've actually got quite a bit. And now that we're kind of getting the other pieces mounted, I kind of don't want to interfere too much of that, because we can move the power supply back just a little bit more if we have to. Yeah, we're kind of running out of room, so that might be just more than enough. Cool. I'm happy. Making progress, moving forward. All right. So thanks for hanging out with me on this afternoon, and have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you tomorrow.